Hey guys, I just got off work and I'm headed home and there's some sort of traffic jam on the highway. But that's okay because I actually really like driving. Driving after work is a challenge. Ask anybody who works in the medical field. Oh, there must be a crash up ahead. Just saw the highway patrol take the shoulder. Yeah, it's never this slow when I get off of work at 7:30. But anyway, ask anyone who works a 12-hour shift or longer in the medical field. You have to really fight for that focus on your drive home. You have to be on it. And so talking and, just talking to you guys actually helps me to stay present and not just zone out, which is great. Let me know how your day was in the comments, and what you're doing for work or what you did for work today, how your day was. I want to hear from you too. Today was actually pretty good. I'm off of orientation at this job that I started, and today I was on my own, and it was actually really good. I feel proud of how today went, and just prayed and covered my day before going in like usual. Some of the prayers that I pray as an RN before I go take care of patients and sign on, clock in for the day is, Lord, let me be able to detect anything that is going wrong quickly and act appropriately. I pray for favor with my colleagues, the physicians, all the other nurses, all the other people that I'm working with, because at the end of the day, it's like you're there for the patient, you're there for the outcome, the positive and good outcome of the patient. And if you get like extra drama, or for some reason things aren't vibing, you can't get along well, it just makes for like the way that your demeanor and the way that your attitude shakes out, whether or not you're even trying to, it affects patient care, I believe. And I can say that because I've been there. I've had some attitudes that it doesn't allow me to show up in my best. So when I'm taking care of people, I want to do that. And I know you guys understand where I'm coming from. And I just, I pray that, I make sure that I'm not making any mistakes, any errors, because when you're dealing with a person's life, you want to make sure that you are on it and you are following all of the checks and every single system that is in place for your success. And so I just pray that, because, being real, we get distracted as nurses. We get pulled aside just if something crazy is happening in another room and you're focused on something that you really need to focus on, like a dosage calculation or adjusting a medication drip. Like somebody coming behind you and telling you, like, something crazy is happening with your other patient. For example, I don't know, maybe they're calling a rapid response on your other patient. Right when you're doing a critical med titration in one room, you got to really make sure that you're not getting so distracted that you make a mistake. So I think that's really where the challenge comes in with nursing, is being in the hospital where you're working with so many different people, departments, and that's a blessing that we have those resources, but there can also be the downside to that. The downside to that is lots of people in your ear, I guess. Yeah. I think if there's any other nurses watching or anybody else in healthcare, share your stories or your thoughts on this, because I often feel alone in this concern. And I've seen other hospitals do like they've instituted like a policy, like don't interrupt nurses when they're doing medication passes. And I thought that was so smart and so supportive to nurses and protective of our licenses. One thing you gotta really recognize is, we work so hard for a license, like you gotta maintain it and be safe and do everything according to the policies and the safety practices that are in place. This is a really backed up road. This is really backed up. It'll be all right. Yeah. I had a good day with my colleagues, though. One of the best parts of working as a nurse is building a team, like rapport with your colleagues and your team members. And the people that I work with, I literally feel like they're like a family, and they're just so welcoming. I feel grateful, and this one nurse that I'm working with that precepted me, I want to call her, I so badly want to call her my work mom, because she treats me like, she treats me like she's an experienced nurse, many years of experience. She's so kind, she's so gracious, and just, I don't know, just good at what she does as like a teacher, a preceptor, and an RN charge nurse too. So I feel like she's my work mom. And of course I can't say who it is, but I've never felt like that. I've never felt like somebody's really truly taken me under their wing, and that just feels really great. And I've been a nurse for how long now? Oh gosh. I have been a nurse since 2013, so that's 12 years. I'm coming up on my 12-year anniversary of being a nurse. And that blows my mind. Sometimes when I start at a new facility, like what I'm doing right now, I always think, I'm like, how did I deal with the stress of like starting somewhere new? How did I deal with that day to day? As like, it's almost like it's another life. Like when you think about how many years that's been, and like you think about, oh, I used to do this kind of nursing. I used to work in psych. I used to work in, I don't know, all these different types of nursing departments. And it just hit me today. I was like, I feel like being new should become easier, but it never seems to get easier. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where you have to be uncomfortable for a season as you're learning. And what I've discovered is it's about 3 months. After about 3 months, things start to feel a little bit more like you're not as on edge, just because you're learning so much at once. And it's just like, it's like that huge, everything's coming through the pipeline at once. You have to remember so much, and then you're responsible for so much, so many things that people need too. So that's an interesting piece. But yeah, these coworkers are like family. They're so funny, and I had a really good day with them. I just feel like I haven't really met a group of people like this, and it's a small ICU. It's like 8 beds. The other ICU I worked in was 24 beds, I think. Yeah, it's 24 beds. And so that's like a third of the size, and we're not always full in this small ICU. But there's plenty of work to do. Yeah, learning a lot. It was a good day. I had a really good conversation with the patient's family member about just the meaning of life and how we get so, kind of like what I was sharing yesterday. I was sharing how I felt like before I worked in the ICU, I would just get so caught up in things that don't matter, like the day-to-day little stresses and just little things in my, my relationship, almost like you're being picky and you're fixating on the things that maybe aren't the way that you want them to be. And when I started seeing these people in this situation where it's like the worst time of their life, they're going through the worst, and these family members of these patients, they're so stressed. They have all these decisions to make, and they want to make the right one. They're afraid to make the wrong one. And it's a huge thing that we see every single day. So it's like, you really start to be grateful that, the people in your life, the people that you do have, they're well, and they're not in that position. I pray that all of you who are watching, you don't have a family member that's going through that right now. And I pray that you don't have to experience that. In Jesus' name. But yeah. It's good, you guys. Life is good. Life is good. It's one of those things where you switch lanes, right? And then all of a sudden the other lane starts going faster, Like Office Space. Did you guys ever see that movie? 10 points for Gryffindor if you've seen Office Space. Yeah. That's right. Team Gryffindor. Alright, you guys. I think that wraps it up for today. I'm about to see if there's another way home I can take. Pray for me. Take care.